This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com, and I am back in the freezing cold, snowy, miserable winter weather of Canada after being in beautiful, sunny, warm Los Angeles, California for a little over a week, maybe 9 days last week. And I must say I had a lot of fun there. The main reason I was there was to attend the New Japan Pro Wrestling training camp at the LA dojo, and that was a week of very intense training, very intense cardio, a lot of very precise teachings about various moves and certain falls, some falls that I'd never even done before. So that was very interesting, to say the least, and the way of the teaching of the various moves was very meticulous, and I really found that interesting. I've been training really hard this past year for kickboxing. I've been averaging running 6.5 miles in an hour 3 times a week, plus I swim regularly, plus I kickbox all the time, both punching, bag work, and sparring sessions. And on top of that, I weight train almost every day, sometimes every day of the week, because I'm a little obsessed with it. So I am in good shape, and that's why I decided to attend this camp, because I only wrestled 2 professional wrestling matches this year. I've lost interest in wrestling. I absolutely hate WWE. I don't find it entertaining. Impact Wrestling, I don't find it entertaining. I can't watch either product. New Japan Pro Wrestling is the only company I have any respect for, and the only company I would wrestle for. And that's why I did this camp, gave pro wrestling one last shot. They saw what I have over 5 days. I thought I did pretty well. There's definitely room for improvement, but I did my best. So if they want to give me a chance and give me maybe an opportunity to train at the dojo full time, I would love that, and I would love to definitely wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling in the future. But if that doesn't happen, I'm done with pro wrestling. I'm just going to focus on my interviews, which are doing very well, and fighting, because I absolutely love fighting. And if nothing comes out of this camp, there's nothing for me in pro wrestling, so there's no point wasting my time with pro wrestling anymore. By the way, my next kickboxing fight is going to be February 2nd in Hawkesbury, Ontario. It will be a shoot match, 3 rounds exhibition match against the 6'6", 285-pound Eric Chabaluzzo, who is a very experienced martial artist and kickboxer, and has also fought in the prestigious Abu Dhabi grappling tournament. So I'm looking forward to that match February 2nd in Hawkesbury. A couple other things I'll mention from the camp. The young boys at the camp, there was about 4 young boys that train at the dojo full time now. They've had some dark matches for New Japan, and I think they're going to be on the New Japan shows in January in both LA and in North Carolina, I believe. But I was really impressed with them. And the other interesting thing that happened is they had us amateur wrestle one day. I won my matches by pin, but I was headbutted in a match, the last match of the day on Thursday. And that led to me having to go to UCLA Medical Center in Santa Monica. And I had 12 stitches outside my left eye and 6 stitches inside. So yeah, it was a fairly serious headbutt, but it really doesn't bother me. I've been, like, seriously, I can't even count the number of street fights I've been in for the amount of years I was a bouncer for. I was a bouncer off and on from 2001 until last year. I finally retired from it this year. So that little headbutt was nothing, and I still won the match by pin. And I really hope I get an opportunity with New Japan in the future, but either way, I learned a lot at that camp, and I wish the company nothing but success in the future, and I have huge respect for the trainer there, as well as the young boys and everyone I met from New Japan, even the gym manager. I have nothing but respect for them. The 3 shoot interviews I did while I was in LA, one was with Tito Ortiz, and that one was very interesting. That was the shortest of the 3 shoot interviews. He's actually a much bigger guy than I thought. He looks like he's about 240, but a very nice guy. I already liked him as a fighter and as a trash talker. So it was a lot of fun to meet him, and it was an honor to get to interview him. Tank Abbott was another guy I got to interview, and I was working on trying to track him down for weeks, and I was finally able to finally hook up with him. And for those people that commented he looks sick, well, he just had a liver transplant, which he talks about in the full interview. And he died 5 times on the operating table, according to what he says. And he's been through hell the last few years, but he's doing well now. He got married this past Saturday. He gave me the interview just a couple of days before he got married, which was cool. And he also gave me a little boxing lesson after the interview, which I really appreciated. And I did some sparring tonight. I still have a lot to do to perfect some of the techniques he taught me, but I did try some of his techniques in sparring tonight, and they were effective. So that was great to interview Tank. Just for the comments about the live stream, the quality not being as good as the full shoot interviews, that's because I'm using a cell phone for that. I don't know how to live stream on a camera yet. And also, when I'm live streaming on a cell phone, the fan questions pop up, so I'm able to ask fan questions. And one of the main reasons I'm doing those live streams is, one, to give you guys the access to talk to these stars, and the other reason is I've been doing these for, I don't know, I guess maybe since October, the live stream fan portions of the shoot interviews, and you guys have some good questions, so that's why I do them. I'll work on trying to get the quality better, but don't be confused. The live stream interviews are not going to be the same quality as the shoots, and I can always do them better when they're being shot in hotel rooms, like the Almighty Sheik's was the 3rd shoot interview I did. He's the former NWA world champion and owner of PCW Ultra, which I also attended their event last Friday night. But that was in a hotel, so his was the best quality. I had lots of time to set up. I could control the sound. But in the cases of Tank and Tito, I had set times where I had to record the interview in a certain amount of time. So I'm in there in their real houses, or in Tito's case, his store. And I don't have that much time to set up and really perfect things. So sorry about that. I'll keep working on it. I'm constantly trying to improve my quality. I'm a wrestler by trade, not a videographer, but I'm learning, and I'm doing better and better. We have over 50 million total views now on the Hannibal TV, so that's great. Finally, the last thing I'll say before I shut up, because I've been talking almost 10 minutes now, is I haven't heard it yet, but lots of fans have been sending in to me that in Steve Austin's most recent podcast with Duke the Dumpster Drosy, apparently he mentions my name 5 or 6 times. He's also talked about me this year on his Tom Pritchard podcast, as well as his podcast with Al Snow. So I'm definitely going to listen to that podcast that Steve Austin did with Duke the Dumpster Drosy and hear what he had to say about me. I was actually told by Austin that if he wasn't in Nevada the week that I was in LA, he would have had me in to do his show, but he said if I'm ever back in LA, he will have me on if he's in town. So let's hope that works out eventually. I would love to go back there. I absolutely adored it there. So guys, lots of great videos to come. I'm going to edit the Tank interview right away. There's a high demand for that. So I'll have that out this week, then Tito's and the Almighty Sheik's. And my next trip, I'm probably going to be going to Phoenix, Arizona I haven't decided exactly when yet, but that'll be my next trip. I'd like to track down Val Venus for that one. like to check in with Superstar Billy Graham, and I would like to do a part 2 with Honky Tonk Man, which was one of my most popular interviews. Is my most popular shoot interview, actually. But he seems to have a little bit of an issue with me, so I'll have to talk to him and see if we can work that out. Also, I think Eric Bischoff lives out there, so I don't know if I'll be able to work something out with Eric. Kevin Nash also lives out there. I'll have to figure out who I'm going to interview in the coming months. But thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. And I will check in with you in the future. And check out our podcast on iTunes, the GNW podcast. And it's also at greatnorthwrestling.podomatic.com.